We will wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Let us wait so that people can get joined. So far what you can do is that you can give your attendance in the chat box. Write your name slash department name slash class roll number. One student has written, that is Arnav Das slash ME2 slash roll number 3. That is correct. Please give your attendance in this manner. I will exactly start the class at 11:25 a.m. I will wait for 2 more minutes so that people can get joined. Then I will start the class by 11:25 a.m.
Sir, just now I joined. Will I give my attendance in the chat box?
Yes, yes, yes. Write your
Okay, sir.
name slash branch ME2 or EE2 slash class roll number. Okay, it is now 11:25 a.m. Let us start the class. Today I will take the class till 11:30 or 11:35 a.m. I hope you are not having any problem with that, because I have to complete today the numerical portions of the parallelogram law of forces. Since many people are joining a little bit late, so I will take the class till 12:30 p.m. Are you having any kind of problem with this? Hello? Is anybody is having problem with this if I take 10 minutes extra class?
No, sir.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. So let me present my screen first. Can anyone tell me whether my slide is visible to you or not?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. So let me give you a brief summary what we did in the last class. In the last class, we discussed about parallelogram law of forces. Then we derived one relation to find out the resultant force in parallelogram law. We also find out what will be the direction of this resultant. That also we derived one relation we derived. Then we discussed about the different special cases in parallelogram law. We derived the relationship of resultant force R and the angle which that resultant will make with the horizontal for different types of special cases. And lastly, I talked about what is Lami's theorem and what is your principle of transmissibility of force. So if anyone recalls, I hope that I did till this much portion in the last class. If anyone can recall, I think we have covered till this much portion in the last class.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So let us move to the next topic. I will discuss two small topics more, then we will cover the numerical part. Fine, okay. Next topic is the triangle law of forces. Now, what is this triangle law of forces? This law states that if two forces acting simultaneously on a body are represented by the sides of a triangle taken in order, that means let us consider two forces. One force is P, another force is Q. Both the forces are acting through a common point O, and angle between the forces theta. And by triangle law of forces, if I want to find out the resultant of this force P and Q, how I will find out? For that, there is one procedure. What is that procedure? That procedure is triangle law of forces tells you that these force P and Q, you have to represent it by the two adjacent sides of triangle taken in order. That means if OA is one side of triangle and AB is another side of triangle, then according to this law, OA is nothing but force P and AB is nothing but force Q. And also you have to keep in mind that you have to take this OA and AB in order. That means if you are going clockwise, you have to take the sides of the triangle clockwise. If you are going anti-clockwise, you have to take the sides of the triangle anti-clockwise. Then, according to this law, resultant of this force P and Q will be given by the third side of triangle taken in opposite order. That means if O to A, when I am moving from O to A, it is force P. Then I moved from A to B, it is force Q. Then the resultant of this P and Q is nothing but will be given by the third side of triangle taken in opposite order, and that order will be O to B, not B to O, and direction will be opposite. If this is the direction of P, this is the direction of Q, this will not be the direction of R. That means R will not move from B to O, but R will move from O to B. And angle between P and Q is theta. So what I will do, I will extend this OA side of the triangle, and this is that angle theta between force P and force Q. Is the definition clear? किसी को कोई डाउट है इस डेफिनेशन में? और ये जो डायग्राम जो मैंने अभी एक्सप्लेन किया, फर्स्ट एंड द सेकंड डायग्राम, Okay, okay. I can represent the same problem. I can represent the same problem in second way also. How? What is the definition of triangle law of force? Triangle law of force states that any two force passing through a common point O can be represented by two adjacent sides of triangle taken in order. In the second diagram, first I have taken the force P, then I have taken the force Q, then I got the resultant. Now in the second diagram, what I am doing is that first I am considering force Q. That means force Q is in this direction. So let us draw this force Q. That means this force Q is nothing but the side of the triangle BO. Then once I have find it out Q, now I have to mark P. I know that force P is nothing but it is going out from point O and in the same direction according to this triangle law of force. That means if this is Q, definitely this direction will be force P. That means direction is O to A. Then again according to this triangle law of force, resultant will be the third side of triangle taken in opposite order. That means if the order is B to O, O to A, then the resultant will not be A to B. Resultant will be B to A. That is R. Is the second diagram clear? कोई डाउट है किसी को सेकेंड डायग्राम में? किसी को कोई डाउट है? If you can respond.
No, sir.
Okay, that means it is not necessary that every time I will denote force P first, then I will denote force Q, then I will denote resultant R. Any way you can choose to solve problems related to triangle law of forces. Fine. Okay. Now, in this triangle law, we all normally use sine and cosine laws to solve numerical problems. What is sine law? All these laws you have studied in class 11th trigonometry, sine law and cosine law. According to sine law, if I am having a triangle ABC, fine, and if a, small b, and small c are the three sides of triangle. That means opposite to vertex point A, side is BC, let it is A. Opposite to vertex point C, side is AB, let it is denoted by the symbol C. Opposite to vertex point B, side is your AC, let it is denoted by symbol small b. Then according to sine law, I can write A divided by sine of the opposite angle. Opposite angle is alpha. A by sine alpha equal to B. B divided by that side of opposite angle. That means B by sine beta, which is equal to C. C divided by opposite side angle. That means gamma. C by sine gamma. If this is the condition, then you can write this expression by sine law. Is it clear? Anyone is having any doubt in sine law?
No,
Fine.
sir.
But you have to remember these laws in order to solve the problem. Fine. But remember one thing, that always it will be A divided by the angle of the opposite side. That means if this is the, if I am considering side BC, then I will consider sine alpha. If I am considering side AC, I will consider sine beta. If I am considering side AB, then I will consider sine gamma. Likewise, I can write cosine laws also. Then according to cosine law, how the formula is generated? See, A square. A square means side BC square will be how much? A square is equal to B square plus C square minus 2BC cos of alpha. That means the side which you are representing, you have to represent the angle of that opposite side. That means if it is A square will be equal to B square plus C square minus 2BC, opposite side angle is cos alpha. See, A square is equal to B square plus C square minus 2BC cos alpha. If I want to write B square, then how I will write? That is B square is equal to what? B square is equal to C square plus A square minus 2CA, which angle? Opposite side angle of side B, that is cos beta. See, B square is equal to C square plus A square minus 2CA cos beta. And if I want to denote that side C by cosine law, how I will write? C square is equal to A square plus B square minus 2AB into which angle? Opposite side angle of C, that means cos gamma. See, C square is equal to A square plus B square minus 2AB cos gamma. Is it clear? Sine and cosine law? Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt in sine and cosine laws?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So you have to remember these formulas and these concepts. See, in question, side A can be AC. In question, side B can be AB. In question, side C can be BC. Similarly, in question, alpha can be gamma. Gamma can be beta, beta can be alpha. So you have to understand the problem, accordingly you have to solve. So don't memorize the formula as it is. You have to understand that in each and every question, alpha can become beta, beta can become gamma, gamma can become beta, side C can become side A can become side B, because there are many ways by which I can solve the problem. So basically you have to understand the concept, how I am applying the sine laws, how I am applying the cosine laws, how I am applying the triangle law, and how I am applying the parallelogram law of forces to solve the given problem. In the given problem, it can be told to you that solve this given problem by sine law, cosine law, parallelogram law of forces, or it may not be given to you. You have to read the question and then you have to think that which law you will use or which law is very easy to solve the given problem. Is it understood how the problem can come? आ रहा है समझ में कितना कितना वैरायटी हो सकता है प्रॉब्लम में? हेलो?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see,
Yes,
you
sir.
also know.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. Niranjana is trying to join, sir. She's the class coordinator, so she was having some problem.
Okay. I have added her.
Okay, thank you,
I
sir.
have
Thank
added
you, sir.
her. Okay. So basically, what I am trying to say is that see, you have all of you have studied class 11 physics. That is nothing but everything is mechanics. In mechanics, there is no end. There is no end of solving problems. There are thousands, millions of problems are there, fine, and all the problem I cannot solve in the class, fine. What I can do is that I can show you different varieties of problems. Ultimately you have to practice all those problems from the given book. You practice more and more amount of problems, you will get the confidence. Fine. So better I will show you all the variety of problems, but it is not possible for me to solve each and every solved and unsolved problems. So I will show you the varieties. At last, you have to practice it in your home. Fine. Any doubt? किसी को कोई डाउट है? फिर आगे बढ़ेंगे.
No, sir.
Hello. Okay. Let us solve today. We will solve 3 problems. Fine. Let us solve the first problem. First problem is two forces are acting at a point as shown in the figure. Determine the magnitude and direction of the resultant by first graphically, second analytically. Use parallelogram and triangle law of forces for both the method. Now, in this question, it has been clearly told to you that you have to use firstly parallelogram law and secondly triangle law to get the resultant of these two force system and to get the direction with which that resultant is inclined with respect to horizontal. If the same question, I can give it in other way also. I can erase this line. Which line I will erase? I will erase this line. Use parallelogram and triangle law of forces for both the method. Now the new question is, two forces are acting at a point as shown in the figure. Determine the magnitude and direction of the resultant by graphically and analytically. And this diagram is given to you. So now, by looking at this diagram, what picture comes into mind? Means which law you can use easily to solve the problem. This you have to think in each and every question. So can you think? You assume that this line is not given to you. Use parallelogram and triangle law of forces for both the method. This line is not given to you. Only this question is given to you and this diagram is given to you. Now by looking at this diagram, can you identify that which method is very easy, or what are the different methods which are available to solve the given problem? Can anyone say, comment? Hello.
Sir, one is if we use triangle law, then we have to just reverse the direction so that we can get the resultant.
My question is, see, can I use parallelogram and triangle law of forces to solve this given problem? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Only these two law will work, because these two laws states that the formula which are derived from these two laws states that there should be a two force member, and both the force members should pass through a common point. Direction can be anything. That force P can be inclined at 40-degree angle with respect to x-axis. That force Q can be inclined at an angle of 98-degree or 110-degree with respect to y-axis, anything. But the main concept is, in order to apply parallelogram law, in order to apply triangle law, I should keep in mind that these laws are valid only when there is a two-force system and both the forces are passing through a common point. आया समझ में? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. That means by looking at the diagram, I understood that I will use only parallelogram and triangle law of force to solve the problem. Now let us use parallelogram law of force to solve the given problem. I know in parallelogram law of force, resultant R is given by under root P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta, where P and Q are the two forces and theta is the angle between them. Now in this problem, can you tell me what is the value of P, Q and theta? बोलो क्या होगा P, Q और theta का वैल्यू?
Sir, theta is 30, P is 50 and Q is 100.
Yes, theta is 30-degree, because theta is nothing but the angle between the two forces, and from the diagram it is very much clear that angle between the two forces is 30-degree. In the question I have given you that this force is P 50 Newton, this force is Q 100 Newton. If I don't give you that this is force P, this is force Q, then it is up to you. You can take 50 Newton as force Q, you can take 100 Newton as force P. If I don't mention that this is P and this is Q, fine. So I know everything. I know the value of P, I know the value of Q, I know the value of theta. I will substitute in this equation and I will get the value of R. And that R is coming out to be 145.46 Newton. Fine. How I am using the parallelogram law? This is my force P, which is at an angle of 15 degree with respect to x-axis. Then from this point, this is your force Q, which is at an angle of 30 degree with respect to force P. Now, in order to use parallelogram law, what I have to do? I have to draw a parallel line. That means I have to draw this line of equal magnitude and parallel to line this AQ. And I have to draw this line which is parallel and equal in magnitude with respect to line AP. Now this is nothing but a parallelogram. Now if I join point A with this longest diagonal point, this is nothing but my resultant R, which is and whose magnitude is given by 145.46 Newton. Now Now I know that each and every force is represented by its magnitude as well as direction. I have calculated the magnitude. Now I have to calculate the direction. That means this resultant R is at how much angle from the x-axis, or at how much angle from force P, or at how much angle from force Q. Again, I am having one formula. That formula is tan alpha is equal to q sine theta divided by p plus q cos theta. This we have derived in the last class. Now, can you tell me that in this formula, alpha is the angle between which two things?
Resultant and P.
तो एंगल, ये जो फॉर्मूला है ऑल द टाइम मैं ब्लाइंडली इसको यूज नहीं करूंगा, आपको समझना पड़ेगा कि इसमें जो एंगल अल्फा होता है वो किसके किसके बीच होता है, नहीं तो प्रॉब्लम गलत हो जाएगा। तो आप मेरे को फिगर को देख के बोलो कि ये जो एंगल अल्फा है यहाँ किसके किसके बीच बनेगा। किसके बीच बनेगा एंगल अल्फा? R and P. Always remember this alpha is nothing but the angle between the resultant force and P. Any one force. If you see in the derivation part, in the derivation part, force P was parallel to x-axis. Clear? Now, in the question which I am solving right now, in this question, P is parallel to x-axis. It is not parallel. P is at an angle of 15 degree with respect to x-axis. So, in the question which I discussed in the last class, the proof which I discussed in the last class, this is angle alpha, angle between resultant R and force P. In this case, P is parallel to x-axis, but in the current case, P is not parallel to x-axis. It is at some angle 15 degree with respect to x-axis. So similarly, your alpha will also shift. But always remember, alpha is what? Alpha is the angle between force P and the resultant R. Is it clear? अब समझ में आया? अल्फा कैसे निकालूंगा मैं हर क्वेश्चन में, क्या होगा अल्फा हर क्वेश्चन के लिए? क्वेश्चन में डायग्राम चेंज होगा, आपको डायग्राम देख के यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट व्हाट इज अल्फा। क्लियर है सबको? एनी डाउट?
No, sir.
Okay, so now I know Q already. I know Q is 100, theta is 50 degree, P is 50. So tan alpha is equal to 100 sine 30 divided by 50 plus 100 cos 30. So alpha is nothing but equal to tan inverse of this value. If you solve this value, you will get alpha equal to 20.10 degree. Now this is what? Now, this is also your one answer. You have to represent it like this. Resultant force R is having a magnitude of 145.46 Newton, which is at an angle of 20.10 degree with respect to force P. आया समझ में लाइन? अल्फा इक्वल टू 20.10 डिग्री है क्या? इसको तो एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ेगा। That is nothing but the angle which the resultant is making with respect to force P. That is 20.10 degree. आया समझ में? कोई डाउट है किसी को? हेलो सर। फाइन। अब इसको एक और तरीके से आप रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हो। कैसे? नॉर्मली व्हाट वी डू, वी रिप्रेजेंट एनी फोर्स आइदर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू एक्स एक्सिस हाउ मच इट इज इंक्लाइंड, और विद रिस्पेक्ट टू वाई एक्सिस हाउ मच इट इज इंक्लाइंड। नाउ इफ आई वांट टू रिप्रेजेंट this resultant R, how much it is inclined from x axis, can anyone tell me कितना एंगल से इंक्लाइन करेगा x axis से? क्या वो 20.10 डिग्री होगा from the x axis? That inclination will be 20.10 degree, yes or no?
No, sir.
It will not be 20.10 degree. It will be how much then? It will be 20.10 degree plus 15 degree, because already force P is at an angle of 15 degree from the x axis. So your new direction or your correct direction of this resultant force R is how much? Angle alpha dash. Angle alpha dash is alpha, which we have calculated, plus 15 degree. Now you can say that magnitude of resultant R is 145.46 Newton, which is at an angle of alpha plus alpha dash. That means alpha plus 15 degree. That means 20.10 degree plus 15 degree, which is nothing but 35.10 degree from the x-axis. ठीक है? किसी को कोई डाउट?
So in the diagram, it is we are seeing that alpha dash is the angle between x-axis and the resultant. But it should
Alpha
be
dash is the direction between the resultant and the x-axis. If you see the diagram, alpha dash is how much? Alpha dash is alpha plus 15 degree. Because already in the question it has been told to you that force P is inclined at an angle of 15 degree from the x-axis. So alpha dash is alpha plus 15 degree. Alpha already I have calculated 20.10 degree plus 15 degree. That means 35.10 degree. Now you can say that your resultant force R is inclined from the x-axis at an angle of 35.10 degree. Clear hai?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. So whenever you are calculating the resultant angle, आप लिख दोगे अल्फा इक्वल टू 35.10 डिग्री, आपका मार्क्स कटेगा. आपको तो बताना पड़ेगा दैट 35.10 डिग्री रिजल्टेंट आर के साथ कहां से एंगल बना रहा है, फ्रॉम द एक्स एक्सिस, फ्रॉम द वाई एक्सिस, फ्रॉम द फोर्स पी और फ्रॉम द फोर्स क्यू. If you won't write, if you have written that direction is 35.10 degree, but where is that direction? That direction can be inclined from the x-axis. It can be inclined from the y-axis. So you have to mention like that that is 35.10 degree is the angle which the resultant is making from the x-axis. ठीक है, आगे बढ़े. कोई डाउट है इस क्वेश्चन में किसी को? सिंपल क्वेश्चन है.
No, sir.
Okay, so next method is, in the question it has been told to you that you have to solve the same problem by triangle law of forces also. How you will solve? Triangle law of force. Now what triangle law of force tells you that if this is force P and if this is force Q and both the forces are passing through a common point, you have to represent both these forces by two adjacent sides of triangle taken in order. That means if I am having a triangle, say ABC, AB is nothing but force P. AB is nothing but force P of magnitude 50 Newton inclined at an angle of 15 degree. This is force P. Fine. Magnitude is 50 Newton. That means from point A to point B, the distance is 50 Newton. Fine. Now, from point B, you have to get this force Q. Fine, you have to take one scale, say 10 Newton is equal to 1 centimeter, then 100 Newton will be equal to 10 centimeter. Then by the use of parallel line concept, you will take this much distance and you will place your scale over here and you can draw that parallel line. Or else what you can do, there is one more technique. That technique is, you know that angle between P and Q is how much? 30 degree. Already you have drawn P. Now extend this force P to somewhat distance. Then take your protector, place your protector at point B. Then from that point draw a 30 degree angle of magnitude equal to 100 Newton, which is nothing but equal to 10 centimeter. Whatever scale you have taken, you will get BC. And direction will be in exactly the same direction. If you are going here, I am going anti-clockwise. So direction will be anti-clockwise. That means direction will be from B to C. So you got force P, which is nothing but AB. You got force Q, which is nothing but BC. Then by triangle law, I know that the resultant will be how much? Resultant will be given by the third side of triangle taken in opposite order. Join the third side, that means join C to A. But what will be the direction? Direction will be A to C. Now this is the complete graphical solution of your triangle law. At last what you will do, you will measure A to C and say AC is coming out to be say 14.5 centimeter. Since you have taken scale 10 Newton equal to 1 centimeter, so 14.5 centimeter equal to how much Newton? That will be your resultant value by graphical method. Is it clear? किसी को कोई डाउट है ग्राफिकल मेथड में कैसे मैंने सॉल्व किया रिजल्टेंट निकालने के लिए? हेलो क्लियर है? नेक्स्ट is fine. This is graphical method. Graphical method is very easy. Here also for parallelogram law, graphical method is very easy. From point P, you have to draw a parallel line of magnitude equal to force Q. Then from point Q, you have to draw a parallel line of magnitude equal to force P. Then you will join. Then after that, you will join point A to your longest diagonal. This will be your resultant R. Then you can measure it with the help of scale. By graphical method, you can get it very easily. But analytical is a little bit tricky. So let us solve by analytical method how I will get the value of resultant R and what is the angle or what is the angle which the resultant R is making with respect to this horizontal axis. Now from this diagram, it is very much clear that AB is nothing but force P, which is 50 Newton. BC is nothing but force Q, which is 100 Newton. Now, if I want to solve this problem, I know that I can use only cosine law and I can use only sine law. So if I want to use cosine law, if I want to use sine law, I should know the included angle. That means this angle ABC, angle BCA, angle CAB, that means angle A, angle B, angle C. Inside angle I have to know. Then only I can solve whether I use cosine law or I use sine law. Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Fine. So now I have to use some geometrical concept to find out those included angles. How I will find out? Let us see. Angle ABC, angle ABC. How much it will be? See, this entire, if I extend line AB, this is that extension line. This entire angle is 180 degree. 180 minus this 30 degree will be my angle ABC. That is 150 degree. होगा कि नहीं होगा? Hello?
Yes, sir.
होगा. Let me explain via diagram. If it is not clear to you, let me explain this thing, how I am getting that angle via diagram. Wait. Fine. So this is the problem. This is my P and this is my Q. Q, this is your P and resultant will be by the third side of triangle taken in opposite order. That means this is the direction. Fine. So if this is A, this vertex point is B and this vertex point is C. What I am doing? I know that angle between P and Q is 30 degree. That means if I extend this line, this is that angle between P and Q because this is P and this is Q. It is 30 degree. I want this included angle ABC. That means I want this angle. This angle will be how much? This total angle is 180 degree minus this 30 degree then I will get this angle. That is how much? 180 minus 30, 150 degree. Now it is clear. Any doubt? Hello. Okay, fine. So I got angle ABC equal to 150 degree. That means this angle is 150 degree. Now let us apply cosine rule. Let us apply cosine rule. Again, if you see in cosine rule, we are having total 3 formulas. Fine. Which formula I will use? I will use, see, I know that resultant R is unknown to me. So I have to use this formula. If this is A, this is B, this is C, then I will use C square is equal to A square plus B square minus 2AB into cos of opposite side angle. I am considering side this R. Which angle I will consider? Which angle I will consider? Opposite angle of this side R is how much?
150.
150. That means angle ABC. Fine. So I will write R square is equal to P square plus Q square minus 2 into P into Q into cos of opposite side angle. Opposite side of R is this angle. Angle ABC, that is 150. So if you will solve this expression, you already know the value of PQ, you will get resultant R, which is coming out to be 145.46 Newton. Fine. Now I need to calculate the angle, means angle with which this resultant R is making with respect to this x-axis. That angle will be how much? That angle will be angle CAB plus angle 15 degree. होगा कि नहीं होगा? Angle which the resultant is making
Yes, sir.
with respect to horizontal. It will be angle CAB. That means this angle plus 15 degree. होगा? That means if this is my horizontal. See, this is my horizontal. I have to calculate this angle. This is my resultant angle. This angle will be this much angle. I don't know. I have to find out this angle. Plus this much angle. This much angle is given in the problem 15 degree. So by either sine law or cosine law, if I get this value of angle, I will add it with 15 degree. Then I will get the angle with which the resultant is inclined from the x-axis. Clear है? Clear है यहाँ तक? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Let us find out. For that, let us use sine rule. What is sine rule? Sine rule tells you that R means this side. R divided by sine of opposite side angle. That means if you are considering this side whose magnitude is R, opposite side angle will be how much? Angle ABC. Sine of angle ABC, which is equal to Q. If this is your Q divided by sine of opposite side angle, that means opposite side of this angle is this angle, angle CAB or angle BAC, which is equal to P. This is P divided by sine of opposite side angle. If this is side AB, opposite side angle is angle ACB. ACB this angle. Is it clear how I am writing this sine rule? किसी को कोई doubt है sine rule में?
No, sir.
Side divided by sine of which angle? Opposite side angle. The side which you are taking, opposite to that side, whatever angle is there, you have to take that angle. Fine. So R upon sine of angle ABC equal to Q divided by sine of angle BAC equal to P divided by sine of angle ACB. Now, can you tell me which two group I will take to solve the problem? First, second, or combination of second and third, or combination of first and third? Which two group I will take to solve my problem? I need to calculate angle CAB, because if I get CAB, I will add 15 degree, I will get my final answer. So in order to calculate angle CAB from this sine rule, which two group I will consider? बोलो कौन सा group consider करूंगा?
First and the second one.
First and second. Why first and second? Because in first, if I take first, R already I have calculated, sine of angle ABC, already I have calculated, and if I take second, Q is given to me in the question, sine of angle BAC, because this is the required thing which I want to get. So I will take first and the second part. So R upon sine angle ABC, which is equal to Q divided by sine of angle BAC. So sine of angle BAC will be Q into sine of angle ABC divided by R. That means Q is your 100 into sine of angle ABC is your 150 divided by R is your 145.46. And after that, if you take the inverse of sine, you will get the angle BAC. That means this angle BAC is how much? This angle is 20.10 degree. But your answer will be resultant R is inclined from the x-axis at an angle of 20.10 degree plus 15 degree, which is how much? Which is 35.10 degree from the x-axis or from the horizontal. Is it clear this question? किसी को कोई doubt है इस question में?
Sir, if the two vectors P and Q are equal in magnitude, then can we consider the exterior angle method to find R?
If P and Q is equal in magnitude, but is the direction equal? देखो question में का direction equal है? P का direction थोड़ा हाँ बोलो.
I am saying that my exterior angle is 30, and if P and Q are equal, then I can write that exterior angle equal to sum of two interior
हाँ,
angles.
you can do like that. You can do like that. आप कोई भी मैथमेटिक्स यूज कर सकते हो, बट मेरे को करेक्ट एंगल चाहिए. आप कोई भी ज्योमेट्री यूज कर लो, आपको जो अच्छा लगता है, जो ज्योमेट्री आपको इजी लगता है वो यूज करो. आपको मेन एंगल फाइंड आउट करना है. सी इन मैकेनिक्स you should know only two things. One, you should know how to draw a free body diagram, and second, how to find out the reactions and the included angles by using the concept of geometry. अब आप कोई भी ज्योमेट्री लगाओ, बट वो वैलिड होना चाहिए, वो ज्योमेट्री वैलिड होना चाहिए. ठीक है?
Yes,
Any
sir.
doubt? Fine. किसी को कोई डाउट है इस क्वेश्चन में? किसी को कोई डाउट है इस क्वेश्चन में? इजी क्वेश्चन था. ठीक है, हम धीरे धीरे डिफिकल्टी लेवल को बढ़ाएंगे. अभी मैंने सबसे इजी क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किया है. कोई डाउट है किसी को?
No, sir.
Okay. Let us solve the second problem. Little bit tricky than the first problem. Again I am telling you, see, मैं तो यहाँ पे पढ़ा के चला जाऊंगा, फाइन, बट मैकेनिक्स एक ऐसा सब्जेक्ट है, उसका कोई एंड नहीं है. मैकेनिक्स इज हैविंग नो एंड. यू हैव टू प्रैक्टिस मोर एंड मोर प्रॉब्लम्स. जितना ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम आप प्रैक्टिस करोगे, उतना आपका कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल बढ़ेगा, उतना आप सॉल्व कर पाओगे एग्जाम में अच्छे से. क्योंकि एग्जाम में जरूरी नहीं है कि मैंने यहाँ पे 4 प्रॉब्लम कराया, उसी 4 में से आपको मिल गया. एग्जाम में कोई भी प्रॉब्लम मिल सकता है, कोई भी डायग्राम का प्रॉब्लम मिल सकता है. तो आपको कॉन्सेप्ट पता होना चाहिए. वो कॉन्सेप्ट कभी डेवलप होगा जब आप डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करोगे. फाइन, ओके. लेट अस सॉल्व द सेकंड प्रॉब्लम. सेकंड प्रॉब्लम आप ही लोग सॉल्व करोगे, मैं सॉल्व नहीं करूंगा. आई विल जस्ट गिव यू hint how to solve. Problem is two forces, one of which is double the other, has a resultant of 260 Newton. इस लाइन से क्या समझ में आ रहा है? From the first two line, what did you understood? बोलो. Two forces, one of which is double the other, has a resultant of 260 Newton. What did you understood from the first and the second line?
So it means if you consider a force vector, then the other force vector will be twice of that.
That means in the question it has been told to you that there are total 2 forces are there. One force is double in magnitude from the first force, and if the second force is double in magnitude, then their resultant is coming out to be 260 Newton. That means, now can you guess that which law is easy to solve this problem? मैं कौन सा लॉ यूज करूंगा? बिकॉज इस क्वेश्चन में कहीं पे नहीं बोला गया कि ट्रायंगल लॉ यूज करो या पैरेललोग्राम लॉ यूज करो. अब आप क्वेश्चन को पढ़ के, ये 2 लाइन पढ़ के क्या समझ में आ रहा है? दैट व्हिच लॉ आई विल यूज टू सॉल्व दिस गिवन प्रॉब्लम?
parallelogram law.
Parallelogram law simple है. There are two forces passing through a common point. Their resultant is given to you 260 Newton, but that resultant will be 260 Newton only when the second force is double in magnitude than the first force. So let us assume that there are two forces. One force is P, another force is Q. By parallelogram law, their resultant is given by under root P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta, where theta is the angle between force P and Q, and from the first two line I came to know that resultant will be 260 Newton if second force is double in magnitude from the first force. That means second force Q is nothing but 2 times of P. Is it clear? क्या यहाँ तक clear है?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So I will put these things in equation number 1. Let us put, that is resultant is 260, which is equal to under root P square plus Q. Q is how much? Q is 2 times of P. 2 times of P whole square plus 2 into P. P is as it is into Q. Q कितना रखूंगा? I will keep Q as 2 times of P into cos theta. Fine. Take square on both sides. It will be 260 square is equal to, square लेने से ये रूट हट जाएगा. Equation will become P square plus 4P square plus 4P square cos theta. So 4P square plus P square become 5P square. So equation number 2 becomes 260 square is equal to 5P square plus 4P square cos theta. That means from the first and the second line of the question, I got equation number 2. क्या यहाँ तक clear है? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. फिर से क्वेश्चन को आगे बढ़ते हैं. If the direction of the larger force is reversed and the other remains unaltered, resultant reduces to 180 Newton. इस लाइन से क्या समझ में आया? If the direction of the larger force is reversed and the other force remains unaltered, resultant reduces to 180 Newton. What did you understood from this line?
So it means that the magnitude of the largest force will be reversed by angle.
That means now I am having two forces. One force is of magnitude 2p, second force is of magnitude p. Clear? एक तो ये समझ में आ रहा है. लार्जर फोर्स मतलब क्या? लार्जर फोर्स मतलब 2p. One force is 2p, another force is p. Fine. If the direction of the larger force is reversed, that means now this 2p is acting in minus x direction. Assume that means value of q will be minus 2 times of p. Then and the other force is unaltered. That means that force p is not changing. Force p is p itself. Only the larger force, which is 2p, direction is reversed. That means q is nothing but minus times of 2p. Then resultant becomes 180 Newton. That means now for the second part of the problem, q becomes minus 2p. P is P as it is and resultant becomes 180 Newton. Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
So I can substitute these values again in equation number 1. Let us substitute. R is how much? R is 180. So 180 is equal to under root of P is P as it is. So P square plus Q. Q now it is how much? Q is minus 2 times of P whole square plus 2 times of P. P is P as it is into Q. Q is how much? Q is again minus 2 times of P into cos theta. Take square on both sides. It will be 180 square is equal to, this root will come out. It will become P square plus 2 to the is 4P square. My plus minus is minus. 2 into 2 is 4. 4P square cos theta. So 4P square plus P square becomes 5P square. So your equation number 3 becomes 180 square is equal to 5P square minus 4P square cos theta. क्या यहाँ तक क्लियर है? इक्वेशन 1, 2 and 3 from the given question. Hello.
Yes, sir.
क्लियर है? ओके, आगे बढ़ते हैं। क्वेश्चन में क्या लिखा गया है? Determine the
Yes, sir.
magnitude of the force and the angle between the force. That means what you need to find out. अब ये लास्ट लाइन से क्या समझ में आ रहा है? Determine the magnitude of the force and the angle between the forces. That means what I have to find out. बोलो।
थीटा।
Value of P,
ठीक है, और भी कुछ निकालना है। वो क्या निकालना है?
value of P, Q and theta.
Yes, determine the magnitude of force. Magnitude of force means how much will be P, how much will be Q, and angle between the force. That means theta is the angle between the force. How much is that value of angle theta? I am having three equations. Equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. Now you have to use some mathematics concept to solve these three equations to get the value of P, Q and theta. What I can do, if you add equation 2 and 3, you can see that this 4p square cos theta and minus 4p square cos theta will get cancel out. दिख रहा है कि नहीं? ऐड करते हैं. That means 260 square plus 180 square is equal to, equation 2 is 5p square plus 4p square cos theta plus equation number 3, that is 5p square plus minus is minus 4p square cos theta plus 4p square cos theta minus 4p square cos theta cancel out. 5 plus 5 is 10p square. So P is equal to under root of 260 square plus 180 square divided by 10. If you solve this expression, you will get the value of P as 100 Newton. Already you know that Q is 2 times of P. So value of Q will be 2 into P, that is 2 into 100 Newton, that is 200 Newton. यहाँ तक समझ में आया? How I have calculated P and how I have calculated the value of Q. कोई डाउट है यहाँ पे किसी को?
No, sir.
Okay. Next, I need to get the value of theta. तो अब मैं बताऊंगा नहीं, अब आप ही लोग मेरे को बताओगे कि अब थीटा कैसे निकालूंगा. आपके पास दो इक्वेशन है, इक्वेशन 2 और इक्वेशन 3. P मिल गया है, Q मिल गया, थीटा कैसे निकालूंगा? If I put the, see, both equation 2 and 3 is in terms of P. So if you put the value of P either in equation number 2 or in equation number 3 and then solve that equation, you will get the value of theta. So let us put the value of P in equation number 2. Then your final equation becomes 260 square is equal to 5 into P. P is 100 square plus 4 into P square. That means 4 into 100 square into cos theta. So cos theta is how much? Cos theta is 260 square minus 5 into 100 square divided by 4 into 100 square. So ultimately theta is equal to cos inverse of this value. If you solve it, you will get the value of theta as 63.89 degree. क्या कोई दिक्कत हुआ इस क्वेश्चन में किसी को समझने में? क्लियर है ये क्वेश्चन नंबर 2? हेलो,
Yes, sir.
किसी को कोई डाउट है क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 में? किसी को डाउट है क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 में?
No, sir.
ओके, चलो अब सॉल्व करते हैं थर्ड क्वेश्चन और आज के दिन का आखिरी क्वेश्चन एंड क्लाइमैक्स क्वेश्चन. क्लाइमैक्स क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा हटके होता है, ठीक है? तो इसको आप ही लोग सॉल्व करोगे, मैं सॉल्व नहीं करूंगा. आई हैव शोन यू फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड प्रॉब्लम. नाउ यू हैव गॉट सम हिंट हाउ टू डील विद द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ पैरेललोग्राम लॉ ऑफ फोर्स एंड ट्रायंगल लॉ ऑफ फोर्स. अभी आप लोग सॉल्व करोगे थर्ड क्वेश्चन. तो इससे मेरे को समझ में आ जाएगा कि हाँ आपको समझ में आ गया है कि कैसे डील करना है पैरेललोग्राम लॉ एंड ट्रायंगल लॉ ऑफ क्वेश्चन को. चलो लेट अस सॉल्व. See, in mechanics, answer is there in the question itself. If you understand the wording of the question, you can it will be very easy for you to formulate the answer. अगर आपको क्वेश्चन ही समझ में नहीं आ रही, क्वेश्चन में बोल क्या रहा है, तब आप नहीं कर पाओगे. फाइन, लेट अस सॉल्व. थर्ड क्वेश्चन. Two forces P1 and P2 acting at a point have a resultant R. तो इस लाइन से क्या समझ में आया, मैं कौन सा लॉ यूज करूंगा, ये जो फर्स्ट लाइन है से क्या समझ में आया, which law will I use, which law will I use? Hello, hello.
So triangle.
Triangle law also you can use, parallelogram law also you can use, because both are valid. Why both are valid? Because in both the laws there are only two forces that are passing through a common point. Now you have to see out of those two law which law is helpful for your problem to solve. Fine. Okay. Next, if P2 is doubled, R is also doubled. That means इस लाइन से क्या समझ में आया? If P2 is doubled, R is also doubled. That means इसे क्या समझ में आया? हेलो
सर मैंने P1 सेम रहेगा, खाली P2 और डबल है।
यस P1 के बारे में कुछ नहीं बोल रहा है, खाली ये बोल रहा है कि P2 जो है वो डबल हो जाएगा। ठीक है, तो P2 को आप डबल कर दो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। R इज ऑल्सो डबल, तो जब आप P2 को डबल करोगे आपका रिजल्टेंट भी डबल हो जाएगा। अगर आपका रिजल्टेंट पहले था R, अभी रिजल्टेंट हो जाएगा 2R। फाइन। अगेन इफ द डायरेक्शन ऑफ P2 इज रिवर्स्ड, नेक्स्ट टाइम क्या कर रहा है, P2 के डायरेक्शन को चेंज कर रहा है। दैट मींस फर्स्ट टाइम क्या था, P2 पॉजिटिव डायरेक्शन में था, अभी क्या कर रहा है, P2 को नेगेटिव डायरेक्शन में रख रहा है, मतलब P2 का वैल्यू हो जाएगा -P2। देन R इज डबल, इस कंडीशन में भी R डबल हो जाएगा। You have to show that P1 is to P2 is to R is equal to √2 is to √3 is to √2। कैसे करेंगे सॉल्व? हम जानते हैं कि फ्रॉम पैरेललोग्राम लॉ रिजल्टेंट इज गिवन बाय √P1 square plus P2 square plus 2 P1 P2 cos theta from the first line of the question, that is if P2 is doubled, R is also doubled. That means P2 becomes 2 times of P2 and R becomes 2 times of R. Substitute this value in equation number 1, your resulting equation becomes 2R is equal to √P1 square plus P2 is 2P2 whole square plus 2 into P1. I am not changing P1 into P2 becomes 2 times of P2 into cos theta. Take square on both sides. 2R square is equal to P1 square plus 2 2s are 4P2 square plus 2 into 2 is 4P1 P2 cos theta. So it becomes 4R 2R square is nothing but 4R square is equal to P1 square plus 4P2 square plus 4P1 P2 cos theta. Equation number 2। क्या यहाँ तक कोई डाउट है इक्वेशन नंबर 2 में? हेलो ओके, आगे बढ़ते हैं। क्या बोलता है क्वेश्चन में? अगेन इफ द डायरेक्शन ऑफ P2 इज रिवर्स्ड देन R इज डबल्ड। दैट मींस from this line of question I come to know that P2 is how much? P2 is -P2 and R is how much? R is 2R. Clear? P2 is -P2 and R is 2R. Again you substitute these values in equation number 1. Again you will get one equation, that is equation number 3. So it will be 2R is equal to √P1 square plus P2 is reversed, so it will be -P2 whole square plus 2 into P1 in bracket -P2 into cos theta. If you will solve, you will get the expression as 4R square is equal to P1 square plus P2 square minus 2 P1 P2 cos theta, which is equation number 3. Is it clear? Equation number 3. I got equation number 2 from the first line of the question and I got equation number 3 from the last line of the question. क्या यहाँ तक clear है? Equation 2 and 3. Hello.
Yes sir.
Okay, fine. Now, but in the question, I have to find out what? I have to find out that P1 is to P2 is to R is equal to √2 is to √3 is to √2. तो ये जो हमको प्रूफ करना है उसको देख के ये लग रहा है कि इस पर्टिकुलर टर्म में there is nowhere cos theta sin theta, कहीं पे cos theta sin theta नहीं है. That means by some mathematical concept I have to remove these cos thetas from the given equation, equation number 2, equation number 3 से मेरे को कुछ mathematical concept use करके cos theta निकालना पड़ेगा. होगा कि नहीं होगा? क्योंकि जो मुझे फाइनल चीज मुझे जो प्रूफ करना है वहां पे कहीं पे थीटा नहीं आ रहा है. यस और नो? हेलो हेलो.
Yes, sir.
Right? So let us use some mathematical concept. So what I am doing is, let us add equation number 1 and equation number 3. That means this equation. So equation number 1, after taking square on both sides, it will be rs square plus 4r square, that is r square plus 4r square, which is nothing but 5r square, which is equal to p1 square plus p2 square plus 2p1 p2 cos theta plus p1 square plus p2 square minus 2p1 p2 cos theta. This plus 2p1 p2 cos theta and minus 2p1 p2 cos theta will cancel out the effect of each other. p1 square plus p1 square becomes 2p1 square. p2 square plus p2 square becomes 2p2 square. So your final equation number 4 becomes 5r square is equal to 2p1 square plus 2p2 square. Is the equation number 4 clear? That is, I am getting from equation 1 plus equation 3. क्या यहां तक किसी को डाउट है? क्या इक्वेशन नंबर 4 क्लियर है?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Next, what I want to do is, see, I need to find out the value of p1, I need to find out the value of p2, I need to find out the value of r. So I am having one equation in which r is also there, p1 is also there, p2 is also there. So I have to find one more equation. In terms of r, p1, p2. Then only I can solve. Otherwise, it is very difficult for me to solve the problem. How I will solve? Again, I have to use some mathematical concept. So now what I am doing is that I am multiplying equation 3 with 2. I am multiplying the entire equation 3 with 2, and then I am adding that entire equation with equation number 2. That means 2 times of equation number 3 plus equation number 2 is how much? Let us find out. That means 2 into 4r square. 2 into 4 is 8r square plus 4r square. That means 8r square plus 4r square is nothing but 12r square, which is equal to, it will be 2p1 square, because you have to multiply 2 with the entire equation number 3. So 2p1 square plus 2p2 square minus 2 to the 4p1 p2 cos theta. See, 2p1 square plus 2p2 square minus 4p1 p2 cos theta plus equation number 2, that is plus p1 square plus 4p2 square plus 4p1 p2 cos theta. Now if you can see that plus 4p1 p2 cos theta and minus 4 of p1 p2 cos theta cancel out each other. If it is cancel out each other, then 2p1 square plus p1 square becomes 3p1 square. 2p2 square plus 4p2 square becomes 6p2 square. In the next step, you can take 3 common. So it will become 12r square is equal to 3 common p1 square plus 2p2 square. Fine. Now 3 4s are 12. So equation becomes 4r square is equal to p1 square plus 2p2 square, which is equation number 5. क्या ये समझ में आया कैसे मैंने निकाला इक्वेशन नंबर 5? कोई डाउट है किसी को इक्वेशन नंबर 5 में?
No, sir.
फाइन. नाउ अभी भी मैं निकाल नहीं पाऊंगा, मुझे p1 p2 और r का कुछ पर्टिकुलर वैल्यू चाहिए. अभी भी मैं निकाल नहीं पाऊंगा. क्यों? क्योंकि मेरे पास इक्वेशन है. वन इज इक्वेशन नंबर 4, वन इज इक्वेशन नंबर 5. अगेन आई हैव टू डू समथिंग विद 4 and 5 to get the value of p1 p2 r. What I can do? Let us subtract 5 from 4. Let us do it. That means 4 minus 5. 4 minus 5 is how much? 5r square minus 4r square, which is equal to 2p1 square plus 2p2 square minus p1 square minus 2p2 square. You can see that 2p2 square and minus 2p2 square cancel out each other. 2p1 square minus p1 square becomes p1 square. 5r square minus 4r square becomes r square. So the final equation becomes r square is equal to p1 square. This square square cancel. p1 is equal to r. क्लियर है? क्लियर है यहां तक? कोई डाउट किसी को? हेलो? Okay, now I can solve. See, I am getting the value of P1 in terms of R. Only one single digit I am getting, and I need one single digit because this P1, P2 and R in terms of one single digit. It can, whether it can be a variable, it can be a numeric value, but I need one single digit. Now I have almost completed my problem. Now what I will do is that I will be substituting the value of R, which is nothing but P1, in equation number 5. What I will get? R is equal to P1. That means 4R square. It will be nothing but 4P1 square. 4P1 square is equal to P1 square plus 2P2 square. P1 square plus 2P2 square. Fine. 4P1 minus this P1, you take it left hand side. 4P1 minus P1 is 3P1 square, which is equal to 2P2 square. 2 you can take it over here. So it will be 3 by 2 times of P1 square equal to P2 square. Which implies P2 is how much? P2 is under root of 3 by 2 into P1. Is it clear how I got P2 in terms of P1? क्लियर है? क्लियर है कैसे मुझे P2 मिला in terms of P1? हेलो? फाइन. नाउ यू कैन सी हम लोग का आंसर आ रहा है. देखो यहाँ पे P2 इज P1 इंटू रूट 3 बाई 2. ठीक है, देखो यहाँ पे कहीं पे दिखाई दे रहा है रूट 2 रूट 3 रूट 2. दैट मीन्स अगेन वी आर क्लोजर टू माई आंसर. सो नाउ P1 is to P2 is to R is how much? P1 is nothing but R, which is nothing but P1. तो P1 को मैं as it is लिखा. P1 is to P2 is how much? P2 is under root 3 by 2 times of P1. Under root 3 by 2 times of P1 is to R. R is nothing but P1. तो यहाँ पे मैं R के जगह P1 लिखूंगा. Fine. Next line, what I am doing, I am dividing the entire expression by P1. That means P1 by P1 is 1 under root 3 by 2 times of P1 divided by P1. P1 cancel. Your resulting answer will be under root 3 by 2 is 2. This R is nothing but P1. P1 by P1 is nothing but 1. That means 1 is 2 under root of 3 by 2 is 2 1. Now again this expression, this second expression, if you multiply the entire expression by root 2, so 1 into root 2 is root 2 is 2 under root of 3 by 2, that is nothing but root 3 divided by root 2 into root 2. Root 2 cancel is 2. 1 into root 2 is root 2. Now see, I have proved that P1 is to P2 is to R is nothing but root 2 is to root 3 is to root 2. आया समझ में?
यस सर.
थोड़ा अच्छा क्वेश्चन है, थोड़ा टिपिकल क्वेश्चन है, इसमें थोड़ा मैथमेटिक्स है. ठीक है, तो इस क्वेश्चन में गलती होने के चांसेस मैक्सिमम हैं लोगों के. ठीक है
सर, can we do it graphically?
ना ग्राफिकली होता तो फिर मैकेनिक्स पढ़ने का जरूरत ही नहीं होता यार. ग्राफिकली अगर सब चीज कर पाते तो मैकेनिक्स होने का जरूरत ही नहीं होता ना. ग्राफिकली आप नहीं कर सकते हो. इफ अगर मैं क्वेश्चन में लिख देता हूँ कि सॉल्व ग्राफिकली, जैसे मैंने फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन में लिखा था कि आपको दोनों तरीकों से करना है. यू हैव टू सॉल्व इट ग्राफिकली आल्सो, you have to solve it analytically also. Fine, then you can use graph. But if in the question it has not been told to you that use graph, you cannot use graph. क्वेश्चन में लिखा रहेगा कि यूज ग्राफ. आप ग्राफिकली कर सकते हो, बहुत टाइम लगेगा, फिर आपको टाइम लगेगा. बट जब तक क्वेश्चन में बोला नहीं जाता है कि यूज ग्राफिकली, यू कैन नॉट यूज ग्राफ. क्लियर है? कोई डाउट है किसी को? हेलो?
No, sir.
Fine. So solve such kind of problems from the book. मैंने बुक ऑलरेडी गूगल क्लासरूम में शेयर कर दिया है. इस टाइप के जितने भी सॉल्व प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, अनसॉल्व पे मत जाओ, अभी सॉल्व पे देखो. आप जब सॉल्व पूरे बन जाएंगे आपसे तब आप अनसॉल्व पे जाना. तो बेसिकली पैरेललोग्राम लॉ, ट्रायंगल लॉ, फोर्सेस, साइन लॉ, कोसाइन लॉ पे इस टाइप के प्रॉब्लम्स बनते हैं. ठीक है, तो आप लोग को इस टाइप का प्रॉब्लम्स और सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, तो दिस सैटरडे एंड संडे, आइदर सैटरडे या संडे, जो एग्जाम होगा आपका थ्रू दैट गूगल फॉर्म, दैट विल बी ऑन टुडेज लेक्चर. आज जो लेक्चर हुआ है, ठीक है, न्यूमेरिकल्स ही आएंगे, थ्योरी नहीं आएगा, न्यूमेरिकल्स ही आएगा. ठीक है, वो भी सेम न्यूमेरिकल नहीं आएगा जो मैंने कराया है, इस टाइप का ही न्यूमेरिकल आएगा. ठीक है, तो वो सैटरडे या संडे मैं आपको गूगल क्लासरूम में भी डाल दूंगा, कब होगा टाइमिंग वगैरह सब दे दूंगा, और आपके व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में भी डाल दूंगा. ठीक है, कोई डाउट किसी को? हेलो?
No, sir.
Fine. Okay, okay. So now I am stopping my class over here. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me in today's class, and before leaving the class, please give your attendance in the chat box. Thank you. किसी को कोई डाउट है आज की क्लास में, कुछ समझ में नहीं आया तो वो पूछ सकता है अभी, और बाकी आप जिसको जाना है वो अटेंडेंस देके जा सकता है.
थैंक यू सर.
अच्छा, एनी सेकेंड ईयर, आई हैव वन क्वेश्चन. आप लोग को ओके, लेट मी वेट. I will request the electrical people, if you are having any doubt, you can ask me, and before leaving, please give your attendance in the chat box. Mechanical people, please stay in the meeting. I have to discuss something. Why she's joining? I will request electrical people, if you are done with your attendance, if you are having any problem, you can ask me right now for this class, or else you can leave the meeting. I have to discuss something with the mechanical people, since I am their class teacher, so I have to discuss something with them. And remember, on Saturday and Sunday, either on Saturday or on Sunday, there will be a test based on today's lecture, and it will be a completely numerical test. आई थिंक सभी मैकेनिकल वाले ही हैं शायद मीटिंग में. अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है. हाँ, ये क्या बोल रहा था मैं, काम कैसा चल रहा है वो इंटर्नशिप प्रोजेक्ट वाला, कुछ काम चालू हुआ है किसी का?
Yes, sir, it's going fine. Our group is automobile project, and we have done unofficial classroom and
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, वो मैं बाद में पूछ लूंगा. और बाकी एक और चीज, हाँ, किसी भी सब्जेक्ट में कोई प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है समझने में कि इन पर्टिकुलर प्रोफेसर का लेक्चर समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, कुछ प्रॉब्लम, तो यू कैन कन्वे मी, देन आई कैन कन्वे इट टू सम हायर अथॉरिटी. Since I am your class teacher, so that's why I am asking you frankly, including my subject also. आपको किसी का भी सब्जेक्ट में कोई दिक्कत आ रहा है, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, यू कैन टेल टू मी फ्रैंकली. बोलो, कोई प्रॉब्लम है किसी को, किसी सब्जेक्ट में समझ में नहीं आ रहा है किसी का क्लास? हेलो?
No, sir, it's fine.
फाइन, ठीक है. बाकी डिपार्टमेंटल सब्जेक्ट छोड़ के जो दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट का सब्जेक्ट है, उसमें कोई दिक्कत किसी को? नॉन डिपार्टमेंटल सब्जेक्ट में किसी को कोई दिक्कत है?
No, sir.
ओके ओके ओके, ठीक है. देन थैंक यू फॉर टुडेज क्लास. वी आर डन विद द टुडेज क्लास. Be prepared either Saturday or Sunday for the exam. That will be based on today's lecture, and it will be completely a numerical MCQ type. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Hmm.